Guess where we are? Once again, you've got it, back in the kitchen, and I'm just going to show you how I reset and meal prep for the week. And it's going to be super simple this week. One thing I'm doing this week is I'm going to be doing a 50-50 plate challenge. So stick with me, I'm going to show you how to meal prep for that. Again, super easy. Eating this way doesn't have to be difficult, but I do need to reset and restock some of my kitchen. And these are just some of the habits that I've gotten into over the years to keep me on track so that I don't have any excuses for anything. What we're making today, we are making some potato salad. Again, your potato queen is here for you. We're going to do some russet potatoes also. I'm going to be doing a big salad, and I'm going to do a pumpkin baked oatmeal for the week, so that way we can just slice it and serve it. And I will have mine with a little extra non-starchy veg with it, just to make the 50-50 plate. So the first thing I like to do is I like to go through the fridge and the cupboards, kind of just see what we have, what we need. So I already looked, and all of my oatmeal jars are empty. So I'm going to refill those. And then I also noted that my cocoa powder was getting low, so we're going to restock that. I love using this little, what do they call it? Like a mason jar. Tell me what it is. Leave me a comment down below. My brain is not thinking. It's a funnel, that's it. Unless you have another name for it. Oh, and I also think I'm going to do some granola bars or some kind of like bar for a little sweet treat for this week. Okay, so we're gonna fill those up. I also have to grind some flaxseed because we do need to do a flax egg for our pumpkin pancakes, baked oatmeal thing that we're doing. Whatever you want to call it. I'll figure it out when I do it, but it's basically got pumpkin in it. And then I'm going to use a pumpkin for a couple of other things too, because I have a big can. And again, pumpkin, and you know I love pumpkin all year round, and it's literally like 40 calories for a half a cup. So sorry about that, my battery died. Of course, it always dies in the middle of a sentence. Anyway, we're going to grind up from our flaxseed because I like to grind it. Now I keep mine in the fridge. You could leave it, even keep it in the freezer. It'll stop it from going rancid, anything like that with your nuts. And I like to grind it up fresh every week. Very simple. I just use a coffee grinder, and you can see on mine it says spice. So I know that this is my grinder for, not my coffee obviously. So we're gonna grind that up because it is better to have it freshly ground every day. It just has more nutrients and everything in it. So I do it for the week because I do like putting in flaxseed if I'm going to do a smoothie. You could even sub the chia seeds in my overnight oats with a little bit of flax too. You should always have at least, according to Dr. Greger, it's like 1 tablespoon of ground flax seed every day. And I try to abide by that. So we're going to do that. And we're just gonna fill up our oatmeal jars. And another time-saving tip is, I get these measuring spoons. You know, you get a whole thing at the dollar store for $1, $1.25, whatever it is now. I always leave one in my chia seed just because it's already there. It's just gonna save me so much more time. So I'm just gonna go through and do chia seeds for all my containers. Put the spoon back in there. And then I like, now you can do whatever you want through your overnight oats, but I like to split my overnight oats between quick cook and old fashioned. So I actually get my old fashioned oats at Costco. The one that has no glyphosates, gluten-free, certified gluten-free. I just use these because they're a great container to have up here. So that's why I have them in this container. Same with the quick oats. Just reduce, reuse, recycle. And I'm definitely gonna have a pumpkin overnight oats this week because I'll have pumpkin left over. So there we go. We're just going to put our lids on, and they're all set to go this week. Now because I have the baked oatmeal, that's okay. But sometimes I like to have a cold one. And I like to make a chocolate one just in case I'm in the mood for something sweet, and it keeps me on track. So I've got those. We're going to put those away. The next thing I'm going to do is fill up my cocoa powder. It's getting very low because you know this girl likes chocolate. So I get the organic. Just going to fill this. So now we're all set to do our overnight oats, or whatever else we're going to have with our chocolate. Perfect. And that's what I do. I go through my cupboards and I see what I need to make, what I need to use. If I need to make like oat flour, I'll do it all at the same time. The next thing I want to do is I want to blend some of my flax. And it's that easy. So the next thing I want to do is I want to start cleaning my romaine so it can just sit and get clean while I'm doing other stuff. And you should preheat your oven to 350 for our baked oats. And I was wrong. I'm sorry. This recipe that I'm doing, I'm trying something different, does not have the flax egg in it. I'm going to put this all in my compost. Since I'm going to be doing 50-50 plates this week, I'm going to keep it very simple, and I'm going to have a lot of salad. So I'm going to do a couple of heads of romaine and do my big salad like I always do. And I think I'll just use, like, for the most part, 3-to-1 dressing, which is just 3 parts of a vinegar, 2 parts of mustard of whatever sort you want to use, and then 1 of maple syrup. Simple, easy, delicious. Grab your bowl. We are going to start with our dry ingredients, and that is going to be 1 cup of oat flour. And again, I make my own. Just take oats and throw it into a blender and let it blend. And see, I am going to redo this and fill this up before I finish today. So, and the recipe will be down below, guys. Have no worries. Now, I am going to put in a scoop of vanilla protein powder in this. You don't have to, just add a little extra vanilla. I honestly like it for the sweetness that it gives. A teaspoon of baking powder. And to this, we are going to add in I'm going to add in about half a cup of pumpkin puree, totally up to you. Less, more, whatever you like. You know I love my pumpkin. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. All right, and I'm going to add in some, if you don't have pumpkin spice, you can just add cinnamon, a little bit of cloves, whatever, and a couple of glugs of maple syrup. Again, whatever you prefer. You could use date syrup if you'd like. I'm Canadian, so I have to. My citizenship says I have to use maple syrup. You know, it's amazing if you've ever been to a maple syrup farm, the amount of maple syrup that it takes to just literally make one of those. It's absolutely crazy. Now to that, I am going to add in a few chocolate chips. Totally up to you, but this will entice my husband to eat a little bit more. I'm just using some of the Enjoy Life ones. You can get them that are date sweetened now, so now we're going to pour that into our pan. Make sure we get all the chocolate chips out. And then we're going to throw that into the oven for 20 to 25 minutes. All right, The next thing we're going to do is we're going to use up some of our butternut squash that we cooked last week. And again, this is super easy. This is like when you have everything ready. I still have, we're just going to scrape out a spoon. Just gonna scrape out the flesh, put it in our blender, because we're gonna make a soup. I still have veggie stock left from last week. So we're going to add in some of our stock, or veggie broth, whatever you want to call it, that we made. I'm going to add in some soy milk. Make it nice and creamy. I'm going to do a little bit of poultry seasoning, and then to kind of up the flavor without the fat, I'm going to add in a couple of drops of coconut extract, and you just literally need, I think I'm going to start with 4 drops, and now we're going to blend this. So I can tell it's still thick, but I want to just taste it, and some garlic and turmeric and a little bit of pepper. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit of cayenne just to give it a little sprinkle. That'll help. I'm going to add in the rest of the broth. Look at that, guys. So just keep thinning it out with either broth or your plant-based milk. And then just, again, taste it. Make sure it's what you like. And done. We have our soup. All right, next on our agenda, we're going to cook some of our potatoes. I always like having potatoes pre-cooked so I can just fry them up or make hash browns or whatever. So I'm doing my russet potatoes. I'm putting those at the bottom. And then I have just Yukon Golds that I'm gonna put on top. I'm gonna use the Yukon Golds to make my potato salad, and that's like a mustard potato salad. There's no fat in it. And my husband loves this potato salad, so I'm gonna make all that I can. So we have that all set up. There we go. I'm going to set it to seal. So I'm just gonna set it for manual at 13 minutes, and we're gonna let that go. And while that's cooking, so while that's going, we'll put this aside, we'll chop up our vegetables, and then we're just going to finish up our salad, and we are done. And then we are set for the week. So the last thing we're gonna do is finish our salad, and I'm also gonna fill up our snack trays kind of as we go. So I already had some carrots and stuff done. I'm just going to divide those up. You're gonna save all these little pieces, and we're gonna put those in our stock. So don't throw anything out. That's gonna go in our stock bag. I'm going to cut up some celery for our potato salad. If you've been here any amount of time, you know my husband absolutely loves celery. So I'm going to put in 2 large ribs. Just put in whatever you like. So I put celery, onions, dill pickles, dill pickle juice, and then my mustard. What do you put in your potato salad? I'm gonna spin our salad. If you don't have one of these salad spinners, where have you been? You definitely need one. I absolutely love it. It comes with a lid. You can actually do your salad right in here if you want. But I use it so much that, and you can just pour out all the extra water, which I thought was great. And it locks, so if you want the kids to help you in the kitchen, you can get the kids helping. Seems to be pretty dry. And you want your stuff as dry as possible. You can even put a paper towel at the bottom just to make sure it lasts you all week. This will just absorb any extra water. And I know you don't always see it when I'm videoing, but I do try to clean up as I go along. Now we're going to add in, I have some mushrooms. We're going to clean those. I have some little sweet pepper, and I have some gorgeous vine ripened tomatoes. Welcome to Chicago. We live right downtown Chicago, so there's always a siren of some sort. I also have some beautiful radishes from Trader Joe's, in a whole bunch of different colors, which I thought was white, red, and purple, it looks like. All right, we're gonna finish off our salad. There we go. I have, look at these gorgeous radishes. Purple, they're amazing. They look so good. Like, talk about eating the rainbow. So excited for this. And I did make some strawberry vinegar, so I think I'm gonna make a strawberry salad dressing, just so it still feels like it's not full. And actually here in Chicago today, I'm actually wearing shorts. It was absolutely beautiful. Putting on our peppers. I have the yellow ones, the orange ones, and the red one. And then we're gonna add in some of our mushrooms. I love mushrooms. Mushrooms are so meaty, and you know, like, they're fun guys. You need to bring them to the party all the time. I know, bad dad joke. There we go, our salad is ready. I am just going to clean up a few of the peppers to put in my snack tray. I already washed them. I'm just gonna cut off the tops. And I think I'll do some more mushrooms just for the snack box. We love having our snack box because we just pull it out of the fridge, starts munching whenever we're hungry. And you need to prepare and be ready for whenever you're hungry. That's why we like to have our potatoes done. I like to have some rice made. And you know, if you cook rice, you can always freeze it. If you don't think you're gonna use it in time, it's perfectly okay to freeze it. And that just sets yourself up for more success. That's why I always have beans cooked in the freezer. When I come back from a trip, I just pull out a bunch of stuff from the freezer. And I know that we're gonna have something tomorrow, the next day when we get back, because I'll have my overnight oats and I'll have potatoes. They last a while. There we go. Snack tray is done. Now I'm just gonna clean up a little bit. And I do try to clean up as I go. I know I kind of edit out, obviously, but you'll see that I'm pretty OCD. So you'll actually see me sometimes walking away to clean something while I'm still talking to you. And I need to stop doing that, but I'm doing my best. I'm trying anyway. So here is some of our meal prep. We're just waiting for our potatoes to cook, but we have our gorgeous salad with all the colors of the rainbow in there. We have our pumpkin spice baked oats, our butternut squash soup, which took literally minutes, and our snack tray for our snacking, all low-calorie dense foods so that it'll fill us up without bulking us up. All right, the last thing we have to do is our potatoes are finally cooked. I have added chopped dill pickle, my celery, and some onions into my bowl. And the potatoes are still pretty hot. I do like using them when they're still warm because they'll absorb the mustard and the dill pickle juice, so very important. And then I'm just going to cut them into chunks. Grab your bowl. I have the dill pickle juice. I always keep my dill pickle juice, by the way, once I eat all these pickles, which I do love. Once I eat all these pickles, I keep the pickle juice because I use that to make salad dressings, anything. So we're gonna pour a little bit on top. I'm gonna add a little bit of dill, dry dill. If you have fresh, that's even better. And then we're just using yellow mustard. And then we're using a sweet and spicy one. Just give it a mix. You want to get everything incorporated. You want that dill pickle juice. So low calorie that you can fill up on it. And yes, you're gonna lose weight eating this. I always like to check it, see if it needs any. Nope, that is good. You don't even need to add salt because the pickle juice is a little salty. And so is the mustard. You get that tang. So I'm just gonna let this cool down, and then I'm gonna refrigerate it. Meal prep is over. So that's the end of another meal prep, guys. I hope you see how easy it is to set yourself up for success. That's all you have to do. A little bit of prep work will save you for the whole week. That took us about an hour to do, a little over an hour because I clean up in between and stuff like that. But an hour, and now I have my potatoes are cooked. I have my potato salad. I have a big salad, green salad. I have my breakfast oats done, and I have a soup. I literally don't have to do anything but warm up the soup or whatever else, and a couple of vegetables on the side. We're all set. Don't forget, I love having you here. Leave me some comments down below, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and give this a big thumbs up if you enjoyed or you got any piece of new information. Thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you soon.